Hello and welcome to the North Country Outdoor channel. Just backing up a trailer here. Forgive me. You know what? You know what sucks more than anything? When your house is right there and your competition is across the street working. Like, thanks neighbors. Thanks a lot for hiring the competition to work 20 feet away from my front door. All my neighbors hate me, which, you know what, it is what it is. I mean, I raise a lot of cane in this neighborhood, riding snowmobiles and razors and all that stuff around in the neighborhood. Drives them a little bit crazy. So anyways, I'm on my way to my daughter's softball game. My wife works midnight, so we're actually going to meet up at Taco Bell and have dinner as a family before the game. So I want to talk about customers that don't pay, because inevitably in business you're going to run into customers that don't pay, and there's a couple ways that you can deal with that. The first thing that I do is, unfortunately, I judge people. I judge people by what their house looks like, by what their landscape looks like, by the kind of cars that they're driving, by the kind of clothes that they wear. There's a lot of first initial impressions when I show up to somebody's house. Now, you can have them sign a contract okaying the work, but I don't really know if that's not. It's supposedly a legal binding document, but I really don't think that it is. It's, if anything, it's a scare tactic to help you get paid. Like, you sign this contract. I used to do that, where there was at the bottom, I authorized North Country to do this work and blah blah blah, and they would sign it. And most people pay. Let's just put it that way. But so if somebody's really 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 poor, a lot of times they'll want something for nothing. And sometimes when people are really, really, really rich, they're rich because they're tight with their money. Rich people are rich for a reason, and it's because they're tightwads and they don't want to pay the bill. And they're the ones that will complain about your price, and they'll shop around, and 2 weeks later they'll call you back and say, hey, we want you to do the work. So that's just, and if I get a bad feeling about a customer, I won't schedule them. I'll ignore them. I'll do whatever I got to do to not do work for those people. And sometimes it's flat out a lie. You come up with an excuse why you can't do the work because you got a bad feeling, or sometimes it's the truth, whatever it might be. I can't think of an example right at the moment. But if you do get yourself into a situation where customers don't pay, there's a couple things you can do. The first thing is you can take them to court. You have that right to take somebody to court, and you bring your documents, your pictures, whatever it might be, proof that you did the work, and you take them to court. But the problem with court is it's expensive. So I would say if somebody owes you less than $3,000, you don't take them to court. I really don't think it's worth it. Some of these guys that do big landscape jobs, maybe retaining walls, ponds, you know what? It doesn't even matter what type of work you're in. If you do something for somebody, you could be an electrician, and a person or a company owes you a bunch of money and they don't pay it. You're in the same boat no matter what business you're in. It doesn't really matter what your profession is. I'm actually going to put on my seatbelt right now because the cops have been pulling people over quite a lot in this area for seatbelts. Like I said before, it doesn't matter. A customer owes you money, a customer doesn't pay, you got a problem. I would say if it's worth more than $3,000, you could take them to court. If it's less than $3,000, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll threaten them with court. Definitely threaten them. You can have an attorney write a letter to them threatening them. You can verbally threaten them. It doesn't cost much to have an attorney threaten them. Just basically a little piece of paper saying, hey, I've retained an attorney, you owe me this money, and we're going to court if you don't pay it. Less than $3,000 is really where I've had the issues. A lot of times it's been residential customers for snow plowing. Right now Walgreens actually owes me like $800 still from last winter that I don't think I'm going to get out of them. At that point, Walgreens, that's a whole different deal because I'm a subcontractor of a maintenance company, so it's not really Walgreens' fault as much as it is the company's fault. So I'm probably not going to see that money. But if you're doing a direct transaction with a business or a residential customer, and it's less than $3,000, what I like to do is I like to settle. It's just the best way to go. In my opinion, you might be different. I did that work, God damn it, I want the money. And I feel the same way, but a lot of times, if you can kind of meet them in the middle and say they owe you $3,000 and they can give you $1,500 to $1,800, at that point, I've covered all my costs, I've covered my fuel, I've covered my wages, you've covered all the costs. You didn't make any money, but you didn't lose any money. And that's what matters to me. I do not like the idea of taking people to court. It's a long, drawn-out process. You may win, you may not win. If you don't win, it's costed you a bunch of money, and you're even more in the hole than you were in the first place. But I do recommend threatening them. That is a good tactic because people do not like getting threatened with court. They do not like it. So that's just how I feel about customers that don't pay. If you're in business for yourself, you're going to get into a situation a time or two where there's a customer that don't pay, and you have to pull up your big boy pants and decide how you're going to deal with it. So that's just my advice. Leave your comments and tell me what you guys do, or what you would do, or if you think my advice sucks, or whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go meet up with my family. We're going to have some dinner, and I appreciate you guys watching. And just remember, you are amazing. You are one of a kind. Tomorrow's a new day. Be creative and own it. Thank you, and I will see you next time.